good evening, free enterprise fans and night owls of the community, and welcome to the premiere of the Community Club Showcase. I'm Invenerable. With me on comms tonight is Nitsky1. Nitsy, how you doing tonight, my friend?
Hey, I'm doing great this evening, and wherever you are in the world, thanks for joining us on this inaugural voyage to the Underground Racing Club. Tell us a little bit about it, Invent.
Sure. After Zemus Zone 2 tournament ended, Penguinator got some folks together and said, hey, how would you like to have a recurring weekly race with some high skill level flag sets, just to stay sharp in the off season? So he started that one pretty late at night on Tuesdays, kind of caters to our Pacific Coast friends. And then another one opened up on Thursdays, the Lunar Racing Club, which may be will be featured in a later week. We also have the Jumping Club on Wednesdays, which features the Push B to Jump April Fool's flag that a lot of people are loving this year, and the Sunday Slapdash. So each week, a different one of these will be featured, and we're doing the 1v1 concept as well. It makes it a little easier to focus, a little easier to see this high-level play, and we have a pretty great couple of racers tonight, Dia and Flurry. They recently did their own little bitter 1v1 best of 7, and looks like tonight they're turning it into a best of 9, right, Nets?
Absolutely, and I'm really hyped to see all the racers. We have, I believe, 11 in total, and
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, no. I'm just, for those in the community, I used to do some comms before. Now I'm back after a little bit of a hiatus, but it looks as though the race is just about to start here. So we've got Iridia, and we'll see what we see right now. Apparently, Baked Dwarf Bread and Make a Necklace with Luca are part of the flags.
Learn how to forge with Kakul. We're not just letting him do it. Like, show me how you make a crystal.
Exactly. So
we have
sorry, go
double.
ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say we have a double baby black mage start. We got both Rydia and Palom, a Tower Key and a Lunar Sparkle. So nice little Palom here to help out with some of the early Rydia's. We can say early weaknesses. She does come into her own eventually. How do you like the start with I know you prefer your boy Kane, but how do you feel about a Rydia Palom start?
I'm okay with Iridia Palom start. Palom will get some heavy spells very quickly, which will negate, as you said there. Iridia starts a little bit weaker, and I'm excited for our racers to see where they're going to go and what they're going to do.
Yep. And part of the Underground Racing Club, you will always have Forge and Giant percent required, and then 2 random objectives. Today's 2 random ones, we have to wake Yang with the pen and conquer the vanilla Murasame altar. That is the one at the top of the lunar subterrane, kind of off by itself. So we'll end up visiting there in addition to all the other places we got to go.
Sounds exciting. So it looks as though standard looting that seems to occur now. I've noticed on this flag set, you come to the Watery Pass because there's chests galore, and we need some stuff because things aren't cheap.
Exactly. One of the things now, actually, Nets, how much of version 4.0 have you got to play? I know you took a little hiatus for a bit. Have you gotten to dive into version 4, or have you not had too much chance to dive into all the different flags and options?
I haven't had a chance to dive into too many of the flags. I have looked at this flag set, and I've been watching the races, watching you, watching Penguinator, watching Dia, watching Flurry, and this seems to be a pretty standard start, although it looks as though Flurry is going hunting.
Oh yeah, finds a very spicy Ogre axe back here. Yeah, with version 4, one of the biggest changes was the advent of a couple of different kinds of treasure settings, notably T Pro, which makes it to where different locations have different percentage distributions and chances of having different tiers of loot. If you're doing T Standard, it's the same no matter which chest you open anywhere in the game. With T Pro, you'll see some of these like isolated areas that people don't like to visit because there's no key item checks, there are no characters usually. You'll see these spots checked for the sake of trying to get an edge on your opponent, try to get some good loot, trying to get some money going early game.
I was going to say, compared to previous versions, you never would have seen anybody in the Watery Pass.
Absolutely.
Sure. But now, as you said there with T Pro, it it possibly, potentially rewards you with some more spicy loot there, as we see Dia going through the Damsian Treasury, and we see Mega Sisters and our best boy Sid.
Dressed up as Wario tonight, and this is actually very nice for Flurry, because Flurry found both an Earth Hammer and an Ogre Axe, both fantastic early game weapons for Sid. So this gives him that early game melee capability that you just don't have when you have only Palom and Rydia. Dia didn't go into the waterfall, into the back of the watery pass where that Ogre Axe was. I'm hoping she at least got that Earth Hammer, or else this will be a pretty decent advantage for Flurry right out the gate.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks as though Flurry knows what he's doing. He's one of the top runners, just making short work of these sisters here, and gets that reflected charm, so that's always good. But we do see on Dia's side, she reveals a spicy Sylph, which I don't know if Flurry's going to go around to the front. That might even up the game, because that just made Rydia a lot more powerful.
Ooh, and a Sorcerer Robe on the left side too, one of my favorite pieces of Black Mage gear. This is a very nice start for Iridia. It'll create an interesting decision for our racers to make. One of the things that a lot of folks like to do is to keep Iridia low level so that you can slingshot her for bonus XP later after she's lagged behind a bit. But when you get things early on, like a Sylph Summon and a Sorc Robe, all of a sudden it's really appealing to let her act as your healer throughout pretty much the entire early and middle game.
Well, exactly, especially with this party. You picked up Sid, who's a bit of a workhorse, but doesn't really have any magical abilities, so definitely going to be interesting to see how Dia plays Rydia, as Flurry dumped into the Antlion cave here and is just looking for more loot.
Yep. And Dia getting that Boreas off before the Mega Sisters get a turn. Pour him with the Mute Dagger, dealing out 400 damage. This kid's got a knife. Watch out. Quadruple damage for 400, finishing off Cindy. Excellent fight by Dia as well.
Yeah, that's I ran, actually, the seed I ran had Mega Sisters up here, and I did not fare nearly as well as Dia just did, so good on her.
Oh yeah. One of those bosses that can, depending on where and when you fight it, can either be relatively easy or relatively rude. If you find some good anti-mage weapons, always nice. If you have Quake, very nice, because they do put that reflect up. But this early spot, this good of loot, great team, great racers. Already through that fight like it wasn't even a thing.
Absolutely. So looks as though Dia is on her way in. Looks as though Flurry is just about to come up against our Antlion boss, which, given party composition, should not be very difficult, as there's only a low amount of HP here. We got our boy Yang, so let's see what happens here.
Yeah, only 1,000 HP, some of the lowest physical attack in the game. That kick, not even breaking double digits on the kids. And I was going to say, I see Skull in the chat fixing Moobot. Do want to very quickly shout out both our restreamer Scala Kitty, who's put this together for us tonight, and our tracker Gundam Pilot Spaz, who's going to be lighting up all those things on the overlay as things come around, like that Legend Sword.
Spicy. Antlion required. Thankfully, Dia's in the same spot, so I'd say they're still relatively even at this early moment, just about 7 minutes into the game here.
And this is interesting. Even though Dia got that Sylph Summon, looking to knock Iridia out, wanting to keep her low level, even though Dia did get the summon, which I don't think Flurry did.
Nope.
Interesting contrast here.
That is interesting. Maybe she thinks that, Palom picking up his level 2 spells very quickly can provide a bigger push.
It will get tricky, though. So one of the notable flags as part of this, which let's check and see if Moobot accepted the flags command. Bada bing. Hey, that one worked. Okay, good. There are only 7 distinct characters here. You're not getting access to the full suite of 12 Final Fantasy IV characters. So you're not guaranteed a white mage, and that self summon can really take care of your healing business if you don't get one. Uh, when you did your seed in Guy, what kind of team did you end up with? Did you get all the greats, or did you have to make do with some less than stellar kind of reject percent party members?
I had a Telecane start, and then I was able to pick up Rosa. And then after that, it was Sid, and I didn't get to a 5th character at that point. I just had to pause it at that point. But yeah,
Hey,
it could have been worse.
yeah, fantastic team. Sometimes you'll end up in a seed where you have to go through a hook route with only a few characters, fight some nasty bosses. This, at least, even though we don't have a white mage, is shaping up to at least be a pretty powerful team. Got some divergence going on here. Flurry's gone into Fabul, deciding wanting to get the refill and peek this item. Dia, meanwhile, heading on up Ordeals, looking for some good XP and another key item check.
Yep, this was in my practice. This was a very spicy move with D Lunars in the front spot here. She's got not Kaipo guards, the guards at the Baron Inn.
Yep, and showing off some mute bell strats here. The Baron guards will counter every spell or attack you put on them with either Piggy or Mini, but if you mute them first, they aren't casting anything. So pretty much neutralized here. Low attack at this spot. We'll eventually tear through them. Just going to take a little bit of time.
Yep, and question in chat from Blue Dragonfire. Was it Octo in its normal waterfall spot? That indeed was. Dia probably just took a quick peek for Miss Dragon Hunt, and that was Octoman in the waterfall. So
yeah, with these random objectives, you can sometimes have to do extra boss hunts. Our racers are only going to care about finding that D-Mist in terms of random one-off boss locations.
Exactly. It looks as though Flurry is quickly through that Dark Elf fight there, getting some levels, deciding to keep his Rydia alive.
And it gets a package, which admittedly a very slow check, but when you're desperate and hard up for characters, sometimes you got to make that play. I'm curious to see which character we see there and how our racers will decide on that. I mean, if it's a Fu, I'm waiting for it. If it's an Edward, yeah,
You deal with that. What about someone like a Kane or an Edge? Would you play through the cutscene, Inven?
I mean, I'd have to look at my weaponry. I do know that Flurry has that Ogre Axe, which is very nice on a Kane. You could put the Earth Hammer on Sid, Ogre Axe on Kane, and just be walloping everything. For an Edge, that's so tricky, because if you don't get big swords for him, it can be a little awkward. But another fun feature of 4.0 Nitsky, the Japanese drop and steel tables are back.
Oh, therefore, they are.
You can still Bacchus Wine, you can still Sirens, you can get a lot of really useful goodies just by using that sneak command. So Edge has really bumped up a tier in my book from being just a good damage dealer to having great utility getting those items.
It looks as though Val waiting in the Mist Cave, that's probably good for our runners. Val's can be really tough in some places, and it is a Sid. So nope out of that, because while there are 7 characters, there are no duplicates, so you can't get like 5 Cecils if you wanted, or 5 Porums if you really wanted, or anything like that.
Oh, and on closer inspection, okay, we do not have vanilla. That was a claw, not a tentacle. That's an antlion in the waterfall. That's, ugh.
Whoops.
I mean, it's kind of a nasty boss, especially later in the game where it gets really high physical attacks. I would honestly be slightly relieved to know that it's in the waterfall. I think I'd rather fight Octomammoth late game than Antlion late game.
My bad. Dia just noped out of it so quickly it almost looked like a tentacle there. So.
Oh yeah, the claw, the tentacle, they wiggle in the water, and it's hard to tell. But Flurry giving us that second showing of it. Neither race are going to be dealing with those fights tonight unless we get a Fu and find one soon.
Exactly. Picked up a spicy siren. I've heard in version 4 that those are fairly hard to come by in this flag set now.
Oh yeah, they are on this flag set with S Pro. You can only find them for sale in gated shops, And additionally, they cost 4,000 gold instead of like the 1,000 they used to. You got to pay a lot if you want that single-use blink spell.
And a potential rabbit holes we see on Dia's side, the rat, but we also do see bonus round, Mist Dragon. So Ordeals probably, I'm going to say, required in this case.
Hey, fantastic. You love seeing this demist early on, just before you have to start worrying, oh, is it at the package fight? If you have a Magma Key, you start thinking, oh, could it be at King Queen Evelyn? So a lot of those little like hanging threads are already tied up neatly just by doing Ordeals. So
Exactly. So I would put Dia slightly ahead at this point, just based on the fact that she's checked this for Silver Flurry, but still not by much. In a marathon, she's ahead by 10 feet. So
yeah, and and she may be able to save some. It's interesting the minor differences we see here. Like Flurry did get that package and did peak that, which if Dia finds a way underground and doesn't go to Fabul for a while, maybe trying to wait until she has the pan, well, she's not going to fall down that minor rabbit hole.
exactly.
Also, though, it's so weird to me that the racer who has the self summon is knocking the summoner down, and the one who doesn't have it is keeping the character alive. I'm very confused tonight, Nitsky.
I am as equally confused, but they all have their own way. Just like the guard fight, Dia used her mute bell, and Flurry showing off toad strats. So definitely just slightly different ways of getting the same thing done here. And it looks as though Dia is going to find out the Mist Dragon for us, and it is I think I'm a little bit behind you in that.
Yeah, you might want to refresh the stream. That is a darkness crystal. So we have access to a lot of things. One, there's another character check on the moon. Two, if you're feeling real frisky, you could hunt around and maybe find a free boss, maybe the King and Queen of Evelyn are out there somewhere. And three, if you, as in Dia's case, kept that Rydia really low agility, you could even do a cheeky grenade reaction grind if you're willing to take the time to hunt down that encounter on the lunar surface.
Wow, Invent pulling out all the hot tech, giving away all his secrets.
I mean, yeah, sometimes desperate times call for desperate measures. With this team, I don't think any racer's that desperate. But of course, notably, Darkness Crystal will always be required on this flag set. You have to complete the Giant of Babel. That's how you get there. And tonight, we even have a bonus. We have to do that Murasame altar. So, Darkness Crystal, very required. Here's hoping that Flurry does not forget about D-Mist upon leaving the mountainside. Sometimes if I have D-Mist at the end of a chain and I get something exciting, I completely forget about it.
Well, exactly, but he's got his Rydia down now, and now he's got to try and knock out old Dr. Luggage here. It's a little bit slower, but still not too far off. We'll see here. I'm sure Dia will check what character awaits for us at the Lunar Palace.
And we are now down to only one potential spot gating our way underground. Oh, wait! I apologize, Nitsky. I forgot a very important aspect of the Underground Racing Club flag set. If you look at the K flags, you'll note that there is a lovely little word that says K unsafe. There is some spicy element of danger here. Normally, Free Enterprise guarantees you a way underground that does not require going to the moon first. This flag, foo!
Is this even randomized?
Okay, the foo will make our racers' lives considerably easier, which is good, because if Baron comes up Bubkus, they're going to have to do lunar shenanigans to be able to get underground, and a foo definitely makes their lives a lot easier on that front.
And that was a roadblock I was running into. I had darkness, and I had to go to the moon, and didn't get underground access, and I've since forgotten how to pick up the grind spots in order to get my characters up to a decent enough level to be able to handle those bosses.
Absolutely, yeah. And, that's one of the things that we like about this flag set. It does force these racers to keep on their toes, to keep all their options in mind for future races. Of course, most of them are perfectly reasonable flags, seeds that you can just play through and not have to make any too difficult of decisions. You find a Magma Key, you find a hook, you have a good team. This seed is being a little cheeky, and that is a Yang here, so we're already going to have a full party of 5 characters. If that Fu can get weak off of these next few boss fights, we may be seeing a very early visit to the Giant with a big grind to power up these teams.
Absolutely, and we see again Rydia taking a dirt nap, pulling her best Tella impression.
I mean, the seed ended up giving access to that kind of grind and slingshot early. I'm completely on board with it now. Keeping Rydia down for now means that she and ideally, I'm guessing, Yang will both be slingshotable. They'll get double XP if they are 5 levels below the party median. And if we get a D machine grind on the table, we could see level 50 Rydia with nuke, level 50 Yang with Megaton Punch by by probably like the 35-minute mark this seed, if even that.
Yeah, it's turning out to be very spicy so far, and we'll see what is provided. The adamant, which is a required item, so it is going to be a cheeky through the moon to get back underground, it looks like.
Absolutely. Gonna have to fight things up there to get access, but if these other bosses give us the weak spell, it's all gravy. This team will clear it up so nicely. The nastiest thing that can happen to our racers at this point would be for Fu to not learn weak with whatever bosses are currently left on the blue planet.
Absolutely. So now, do you see any of our runners going back to handle those bosses? We had Antlion in the waterfall, Val at a really low HP level in the mist cave.
Oh yeah, they're definitely going to do that. They're going to see if they can get that weak spell, and after that, I expect a very quick jaunt to the Giant. Go ahead and take care of that. Get all your levels now, even if the grind's a little longer without 10 key items. And D, I don't think it spotted that Val just yet, and
no. Decides to nope out. Interesting. I thought maybe even though she saw it, I can't remember off the top of my head exactly, but I know it's a relatively low HP spot there, and I'm pretty sure that.
Yeah, the tricky thing at that spot is that the D-Mist spot actually provides Val in her spinny form with maximum magic defense. You can't hit her with spells if she's spinning, but her physical defense isn't so bad. It only gets 1 evade multiplier, so that Sid should be able to actually tear through that location if Dia needs to get that Fu powered up further.
Dia making the Antlion play, and hopefully, again, Rydia in the dirt. Oh, and Yang's going to be in the dirt too.
Yeah, both Yang and Rydia are characters which get so much of their power from levels. I describe Yang as being a punch mage. Unlike other physical fighters, he doesn't really get a whole lot from weaponry. Every claw gives no attack bonus. They just do stats, elements, things of that nature. So as a mage, you want him to get as many levels as you can, and making sure that slingshot happens is a great way to do that.
Absolutely. So it looks as though Dia already thinking ahead and thinking, I'm going to slingshot my punch mage here and make him go boom boom. And now that they're both down, she's going to get that virus off quickly, and down goes Val, and she's going to hope for weak here. Weak usually I find tends to skew later on. Is that normal?
I believe so. The exact weighting of Fu's spells and the rate, and the tiers at which he'll learn them, I don't know. They may be on the wiki. We could definitely check that out and see. But I think that part is still kept private. Like, I think there is definitely weighting towards the bigger bada booms being kept at the end of the list. But I've also gotten nuke at my 4th boss before, so.
So it can happen. It's a randomizer.
Yeah. it's weighted probability, but you know, who knows? Sometimes you get lucky, right? Right.
Yeah, hey, sometimes better to be lucky than good, they say.
But if you can be both, which these two racers are,
Oh
you'll have
yes,
a
no,
much better time.
absolutely. It was just speaking in generalities.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So after this, I believe Dia will have cleared every boss she can on Earth, with one minor exception, and that is the package boss.
Yeah.
And I wonder, that's another one of those gambles that, do you take the time to go do that? It's a free boss. Like, no matter who's there, this team can handle it. But is it worth the time investment if maybe there's one on the moon that you could handle just as easily?
Exactly. That's, well, you know, it's a tough play there, but our amazing tracker is showing that actually she doesn't have the package. So
Well, she gets it from this fight. It's the Dwarf Castle reward. So
that's true.
very soon, very soon.
Very, very soon. I'm curious now that Flurry has cleared everything, what he's going to be up to. Oh, he's going to get his fifth character now.
Let's pay attention to these foo spells right here. Slow Charm and Cure 4, still no weak. This is getting interesting. There's the package. Dia now has to make that decision. To sit through that for the sake of an easy boss, go to the moon and try to hunt one to get weak, or maybe even go ahead and go to the giant and hope for just a reasonable fight at the element spot. I don't see too many other things other than these three. Let's see which one she goes with.
Absolutely. The suspense is killing me.
Well, that's a flight back to the well. Not even bothering with the package. Happy with her team. Oh, well, wait. There is shopping. There's shopping being done. Maybe not quite yet.
You gotta make sure you're ready for the trip. But those eye drops in Kamikaze are not what she's looking for.
If I had to guess, I'd say she's probably looking for Ether 1s for sale. Get a stack of those to make sure that your Foo can stay sustained to cast the weak spell over and over and over in that grind fight. A base level Rydia to slingshot to nuke requires equivalent of 24 D machines. So if you're slingshotting her, it'll take 6 plus 6 life glitches, which actually is just right for Foo's MP total.
Then I would say you are probably not wrong, sir. Probably not wrong. Oh, just a slight tile off there. I've done that about 1,000 times, so.
It's such a narrow landing strip.
It is. You got to be pinpoint. Yeah, no ethers there. Maybe in the past shot, we'll see. We will see. There they are. And look at that, Inven. Almost like you can predict the future.
They're setups that you want to do. You want to go in prepared for this. There's nothing worse than going and seeing that you forgot something important. Like, one thing that I've done before, I have gone to the giant to D-machine grind when I didn't know weak. You got to know weak.
Yeah, it's a bit of a must there in terms of that. In the past, I've tried to grind that out there without weak, and it is not pretty at all. And is she going to? It looks as though she's going to.
Looking to go through here and fight that extra boss. It's a little bit of a time investment, but it's the safe way to know there's one you can beat and get 3 more spells unlocked on that Foo.
It looks as though angry Baron Guard burning down the Village of Mist there.
That's a lot of Zemuses. Mist has become the Zemus zone.
Yes. And we're gonna see Engineer cast my favorite spell, Call.
Yes, I need 1 giant man in a loincloth, please. Thank you.
There we go. And look at that. It's so powerful, so powerful. Oh, let's see, Let's see what Flurry's going to do here. I think he's also looking for. Oh, he's going to buy some mute bells. Always useful. I find some of the other J-items that we used to issue back in the day have definitely come back into play, such as mute bells and the like. So.
Oh yeah, mute bells definitely get their utility in these days. We already saw the Baron Guards, which is one of the best places to use them. You can also use them against the evil ghosts in Sylph Cave. They're pretty great if you're fighting warlocks on the moon, whether in trap chests or in random encounters or siren encounters. Lots of when we got rid of Hourglasses 1 and Hourglasses 3. You can get them as rewards still, but you can never buy them. And Hourglass 2s are really expensive and will only be in the Kakol shop on this flag set. So you start looking for other spells, other tools in your kit to still let you get away with some easy fights. And mute bells can definitely do that for you in the right spot.
You love to see CPU here. You absolutely love it. Like probably the easiest spot in the game. And with one Quake goes down, I don't think Dia went really fast for me there. I did not see weak. Thought I saw life too.
I admittedly looked away for a moment as well, and we have another big divergence. Flurry not wanting to sit through all the package shenanigans, heading into the lunar subterranean. The Tella may have, I mean, not the Tella, pardon me, the Fusoya may already have the tools in the kit to get through some fights here. If you can find an early boss and also get a whole bunch of XP on your Palom and Sid, those three can do quite a bit of work up here.
No, exactly. So I like the aggressive play by Flurry. Don't spend time because, you know, as you can see now, he's going to fight the Pale Dim boss here, or at least the boss at the Pale Dim spot. And Dia is now just going to go back up, and you see Dark Imps. You gotta love to see that there, since they're vulnerable to just about anything.
Absolutely. We have Stone, which will insta-kill them, but if we can land this Toad spell, they will be completely neutralized. They won't be able to attack hard. Oh, but...
But you do see they do pack a bit of a punch here.
They certainly do. I think there's still a good chance there, but I think that Flurry will probably want to move Sid to the back row. Yeah, we see him rearranging the team here. Fu will now cast Toad before anything else happens. I would still probably think about putting that Sid in the back row, just because that way he can tank an extra hit. But that's a very manageable fight, and if Flurry lands the Toad spell, he can even grind out bonus XP by life glitching them.
Yes, for those who may want to know and who may know the vanilla game, there are a lot of series of glitches you can do. 64 door glitch, the life grind, which is still available in the underground racing flag set, but that's the only one. They can't MP under flow, and they can't. There's one other one in that. It's on the tip of my tongue.
It's all good.
There's something else that's a popular glitch. My brain's just not recalling it, but the life glitch is available, which is very huge. We see Diaz decided to go to K Bahamut for value and is finding D Lunars, which is not the easiest boss.
It's not, but there is a little trick that you can capitalize on in this fight.
That's if she makes it.
The D Lunar's breath attack, which is it's bad breath basically, it inflicts a whole mess of status elements, can be reflected. So if you can survive their initial onslaught of you get a punch, you get a flame, you get a breath, and you get more breath, you can kind of make do.
And he was half successful here, but no worries. I think,
you can still get through this. You just have to make sure you attack the correct one, which Dia did. She knows the script. So now the back one will be at work, hard at work, casting Virus on the front one. But that also means that Dia's kind of on the clock here. She does need to defeat the back one before it defeats the front one. Luckily, the magic attack at this location is pretty low, so it's looking like, oh yeah, I see a Cure 4. It's looking like she'll be able to take down the back D-Lunar before the front one gives up the Froggy Ghost. There's a lot of frogs on the screen, by the way.
There are. I notice Flurry trying to life glitch there. While it Pale Dim does have a lot of HP, it is split between the 3 Dark Imps. So while there are no worries about damaging, they'll go down fairly quickly.
And Dia using the Holy Spell instead of Cure 4. It's a little slower, but it does do a little more damage. And if you're just trying to make sure you get the kill, hey, that'll work. I'm sure what she's hoping for right now is to get that back one down, and then to life up some of the teammates for some XP here before the HP runs out on the front Froggy.
Thank you, Blackjack. The item dupe, that was the one I had forgotten about. Very, very useful in the speed run.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, so you see, Flurry is going to try and power up his party here by life glitching these Dark Imps, which will give him quite a bit more experience there. 5 for the price of 3. You'll have to see it, and it looks as though Dia will be through. She was able to kill the back one, so now it's just a matter of just taking down a frog. They both have 1 frog on the screen. Frog
and
final boss.
There are items guaranteed to be in the overworld, and one that Dia apparently did not pick up are life potions. So opting instead of using ether on food to cast the life spell rather than consume that precious resource, which she definitely wants to save for a major grind later.
Hey, anytime you can avoid using your items, definitely is useful.
Yep. Flurry opting to go ahead and let the team get levels all around rather than committing to a later slingshot, and finds the Magma Key on the required Murasame altar. Flurry pursues the required objectives and is richly rewarded, completing both that objective number 3. We can mark that one off the board, getting a whole bunch of experience, and getting that underground access. Very
Absolutely.
Fortunate indeed.
Very, fortune favors the bold, so kudos to Flurry. He is now going to quickly run back to the earth.
Now, Dia, however, having that 1 extra boss, doesn't get a good drop here, but does get the nuke spell on her Foo. So still no weak. Weak coming in at like the very tail end of the spell suite. But nuke is a fantastic addition. I'll also point out that Dia's still set up a little better here to do a slingshot once she's ready to go to the giant, which will make her young and Rydia achieve power overwhelming much faster than Flurry's.
Absolutely, but we see Flurry quickly deciding, you know what, I got this here. Let's go underground. Let's try and find the pan. Maybe a good play, maybe not. It's tough to say. There's still a lot of tough bosses left on the moon. Do you like the play of him coming back to the earth and going underground?
Oh, of course. We have 2 freebies waiting on us if we want them. There is the Fae March freebie chest where the rat tail is in vanilla, and you can also talk to Sheila 1 where the pan is in vanilla. Admittedly, you may not want to go talk to Yang if you don't have the pan, since that's going to be required anyway. But checking your objectives and checking your freebies is usually a good play. It lets you take care of some business you already have to do, and maybe you get a little bonus. And speaking of bonuses, let's go take care of this forage objective as well, and see what's for sale in the shop today.
Yeah, Flurry definitely not taking any time, just going and saying, here, I got this rock, I've got this sword, Coco, do your thing. He's super excited, as you can see there, chat.
Ooh, pardon me, sorry about that. And in the shop we have, those Hourglass 2s we mentioned, along with Heroine Robes and the Gungnir Spear. No sign of Kane, but Hourglasses make so many fights so much easier.
Yeah, as you see here, Flurry trying to do his best sales-a-thon. He is going to pick up 4 of them. That will definitely help him out there.
Yeah.
If he doesn't find weak, he'll just use those hourglasses to stop for the grind. It might slow it down a little bit, but it is a safe play if that's what he ends up deciding to do.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of what bosses are still in the pool that we could use those on. Dark Elf was defeated already. Oh, Dia, by the way, getting towed first try, not taking a reset here like Flurry did. That's going to catch her up a little bit of time to make up for that little bit wasted in Cape Bahamut. Very nice. But free bosses, the Dark Imps are here. We fought the Baron Guards. Dark Elf's Dragon Form can be stopped. I think that only leaves the... Oh, well, the Gauntlet's in the game, and the Kaipo Guards. Gauntlet will definitely be a place if, depending on where it's located.
Exactly. And Flurry validating the seed. Our temp job dwarf was an insurance agent.
So it's looking like, if you just look at the objectives, it looks a little dire here for Dia, but she is on the fight that will give her underground access. Flurry may have these 2 objectives, but Dia will be right behind. And Dia still has the potential to... Okay. Actually, Dia liking what she sees, same as Flurry did with these Dark Imps, getting the team up and going, looking like she wants to get the XP... Oh, never mind. Pardon me. Young... Oh, okay. Yang is trying to punch himself to get back asleep for a future slingshot. But that Grimoire... Ooh. If this spot didn't have so many HP, that Grimoire could have ruined her plans. Bahamut will take down a lot of HP here.
And we see in the freebie chest, we do see a Baron Key, so that opens up a little bit more of the world. If Flurry wanted to go back and maybe switch out a character, I don't see him doing that, but there is also a check there.
Oh yeah, 2 checks, both the Baron Throne and the Basement Throne, so...
And the pan could be in either one of those spots, so still anyone's game here. That's for sure.
Yeah. And Dia here actually opting not to do the life glitches that Flurry did. Just wants these things dead. Wants to get on her way. Wants to get underground. Wants to get to the giant, and will worry about the inflating the power of Yang and Rydia then. And Flurry finding a free fight with those hourglasses. Hop on into that Kaipo Guards fight. The water's fine.
Dia did pick up weak at 1800, so Flurry basically has to kill. Yeah, Flurry's got to kill, I think, 1 more boss to get it. He doesn't know that, but now that she's done that, I feel like we're going to see a D machine grind out of her at this point.
Yeah, we see Dia resting to restore MP, but is going back to Earth. Potentially wanting to go ahead and do that Kakol check, see the shop, see the freebies, because she is currently at 7 key items. If she can find 3 more down these other chains, well, that D machine grind gets cut in half yet again. And this team's already really strong for handling pretty much everything on the blue planet.
Exactly. We do see... Again, the Kaipo Guard's the easy fight, and either leg day or potentially elements on the other side there. But again, these Kaipo Guards are a little bit beefed up. They've hit the gym, and they do pack a bit of a punch. So hopefully Flurry can take care of the officer. He has one hourglass too, and now basically everything is just about a moot point.
Yeah, but I will note that Flurry, instead of, keeping his characters down for the slingshot like Dia's doing, is instead just taking XP as he goes, getting these life glitches off on this captain, and now just the soldiers to go. This is it's pretty cute to see these 2 completely opposing strategies. One, take the levels as they come. The other one, prep myself so that when I'm ready, I get power overwhelming in a heartbeat. Rydia has one of the worst XP curves. Yang's isn't that much better. And if you can get them both to level 50, you're in much better shape to tackle those giant bosses.
Absolutely. And we do see a Sand Ruby. I don't think either of them peeked in Kaipo to see who was sleeping.
If they did, I think Dia may have at the start of the seed. Someone mentioned it in chat. I didn't see who it was, but I don't think we're seeing any team swaps. I think everyone is pretty happy. Oh, it was Edward. So there you go.
Oh yeah,
Dia
yeah.
might take that, Edward, but no, I think we're gonna end up with such huge levels anyway that Dia will not be exercising those Edward strats tonight.
No, you hate to see a chat, but Edward's probably going to be on the bench for this one.
So Baron Key, Sand Ruby, that puts our racers at 9 key items once they've taken care of both of these. And it's only quarter leg day here on the east side of the throne room.
Yep. So we're gonna see some bouncing of spells, and I feel as though Flurry is well equipped to handle this fight. Palom could take a nap, but that's okay. I don't anticipate any issues, but you never know.
Yeah, this spot it's pretty hard. But a couple of reflected fire threes, or even just one reflected and one direct, and this fight will be done. 23,000 combined HP between both halves, a little more on the front half. So yeah, throw another big bada boom like that, and this fight is over.
Absolutely, and I don't think Flurry is too worried at this point about getting both halves, of course, because he wants to go fast. I'll do 1800. Palom doing his token part, and then getting a nap for his reward there.
This Mylon Z form of the elements really does not like that Palom. It's seeking revenge for so many trash cans.
Yes, for sure, and there we go.
Another one bites the dust. Are we going to go 3 for 3 on key items in Fae March? Who knows? Flurry gets the text box glitch. Let's
love it.
Nope, it's still 9 key items, so that was not a key item.
No. He's looking. He's like, did I get something new?
This is why you track your key items, friends. You'd know you were at 9, and that does not say 10.
True fact, 10 is greater than 9. Tell your friends. You get nothing. You lose. Good day. You are absolutely right, chat. Maybe you got a life staff. Maybe
I mean,
we'll
see him. We'll see him take a look at the at his inventory in a bit.
Yeah, for sure. Says Dia turning her enemies into frogs and is going to make quick work of that. While the frogs get angry at each other and attack each other for 12 damage.
Yeah. I assume Flurry at this point is really hoping to get a 10th key item, courtesy of Sheila. If so, we'll activate that double XP modifier in fights going forward, which is always lovely.
We do see Dia getting her Fu up to full power there, so you love to see that. She's happy. She's got the entire spell list available to her now, so we'll see if she goes into that grind fight, or if she is going to go ahead now and forge her crystal now that or forge the sword now that she has that. Nope, she's gonna wait on that. She's gonna go to Self Cave.
Oh, this is kind of cool, actually. So Dia opted not to bother with that other fight there, just resetting out. I mean, just leaving the Fae March. I kind of like that play. If you've already gotten both a Baron Key and a Sand Ruby there, like, just you're probably not getting a third key item. It's very rare for Fae March to go 3 for 3, and we got some even easier checks than that Elements fight to make, and she is on her way.
And you see a pass for Flurry on his side. You don't hate it. That's for sure.
Not at all.
Definitely saves yourself the walk of shame.
And it also makes you have easier choices later on the moon. You hate to go, if you don't have a pass, you hate to risk walking down to the bottom of the moon to have to come all the way back to, say, Wake Yang with the pan, and then walk all the way down to the bottom of the moon again. So Flurry now knows that will not be happening. So you feel a little bit of a sigh of relief.
Absolutely. I'm surprised this check wasn't done sooner, but it looks as though now Flurry's going to go up the tower with the tower key. There are 2 item checks here, and maybe that will give us our pan. And then from there, if the pan is in the tower, then That definitely saves some rabbit holes having to go down. Chat wants to see music, so we definitely want music.
Oh, absolutely, always.
Always. So we'll definitely see if this hunt for the pan is going to be an easy hunt or a more challenging hunt. So
Well, as long as our racers don't panic.
No, absolutely. And again, they're both top runners. They're both very good. So
That was my Escrunt impression.
nice.
I wonder if we'll see divergence here. We do see Flurry going, like you said, going for the tower. We got the key. You can do a twofer, but Baron is also a 2-for-1 here. Nope.
Nope.
Dia going right underground as well.
I don't blame her. She's actually gonna go and forge her sword there. So
Probably a good idea. Not something you want to forget about on your way to Zeromus and be like, oh, I didn't get my crystal.
Yeah. Oh, I hit Yang with a pan, and now I forgot something, because that's never happened to any of us before.
I think it's happened to me like twice in the month of May alone.
Nice.
Yeah.
I know it has happened to me in the past more than once. Chat asking what Mylon Z's last name is. I think the Z just means is a zombie.
You sure it's not Mylon Zane, Billy's younger brother?
Oh boy, Mylon Zane, the lost Zane brother. It is definitely quite possible. Definitely quite possible.
I should watch Tombstone again, or Titanic. Basically, any movie with Billy Zane that starts with a T, I'll watch it.
I want to watch Zoolander.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what the Z stands for. Mylon Zoolander.
Zoolander. Maybe. Oh, fuck's sake.
Mylon, show us your blue steel.
Or Ferrari, or La Tigra. Or,
I mean, that with that face, that is Mylon Z. Oh, this model has lost so much weight. He's literally nothing but bones.
And we do see here Flurry taking down Mylon Z in pretty short order. He looks like everything's under control. Dia's gonna dip the actual super cannon room and run into a very easy Pale Dim, who should not give her too much of a problem. And
with that
hook.
Yeah, that lets us turn in that rat tail now. And more importantly, that's 10 key items. Double XP is online. I am curious though, because Flurry's team, again, he's made it a point to let everyone gain experience along the way. That implies to me that he may just instead opt to continue clearing key item checks and save the giant for the end and maybe not do a grind at all. Whereas Dia with the 2 characters dead definitely implies to me. Oh, she's doing the Penguinator special, not even checking the top of the tower. If this hook matters, Dia is in a little bit of trouble.
Classy Penguinator special. You love to see it, but a little scary. JDP, thank you so much for the raid. Appreciate it. Everyone coming over. Welcome to Free Enterprise Underground Racing Club. Or for him, since he's in Australia, perhaps Underground Morning Racing Club.
I think it's still afternoon there at this point. I'm not sure though.
He's in the future. That's all.
That is true. JDP is living in the world of tomorrow.
He is, absolutely. And let's see if Diaz made the Galaxy Brain play. It's a pan. Oh no, it's an Artemis bow. Whoops.
Oh, just the arrows. Artemis arrows, resetting back.
Oh, it was an arrow.
It's all good.
She went so fast there. I misread that. 2:23 p.m. Thank you, JDP.
Bacon Pie asking in chat, what's Flurry's plan for anchoring the Z-Fight? Is C-Buy on or off? Well, it's hard to say. C-Buy is, there is no rescue.
No.
But as far as Flurry's plan, you'd have to ask Flurry. However, if you're going to have a Fu, a Iridia, and a Palom, anchoring isn't as big of a deal when you can do that kind of reflect strats and go ahead and just burn Zeromus down in the first phase instead of having the refill and having to deal with all the HP.
Yeah, you don't always have to have an anchor. It depends on your party composition and how you're deciding to go. Having the lowest agility doesn't always work and isn't always the fastest way in regards to that. So
Flurry double checking those objectives, like, oh, what do I have to do again? Oh, okay.
all right, I still need to find the pan. Fair enough.
Has not launched that hovercraft yet. I don't think either racer did that.
No, that's something I normally do just to get it out of the way. It might be 30 seconds, but if I'm losing by 30 seconds because of that, well then so be it. How can Dia read with that color? Looks quite fine to me. I like pink.
Oh yeah, that is, and as I was saying in chat, that is definitely a darker shade than she usually rolls with. Which, yeah, I would definitely get a little eye strain of vision. But hopefully some of our racers are using nice, cozy monitors that don't burn your eyeballs out.
You mean not old school 21-inch CRTs from the 90s?
I mean, look, you can play Free Enterprise however you want to play Free Enterprise. I ain't stopping you.
Oh, it's got some sentimental value to me. So, while it still works, it gets some use. When it stops working, then I'll have a boat anchor. So, anyway.
And the tower double play not paying off at all. Artemis arrows and a hook that gives only a spoon. Which spoon flag not enabled in these flags, and we've not seen an edge anywhere who could throw it. So both racers definitely having to feel like they lost a little bit of, well, Dia will be there soon, but Flurry definitely feeling like he had to have lost a little bit of time here.
Exactly. So I think he's going to make the play here underground at this point. Or not underground, my goodness. Through the underground waterway, I meant to say. And see what Baron Boss is there. But at this point, with the levels he has on his characters, I don't anticipate any issues for either of our runners at this point. I'm curious to see what Dia does next.
Yeah, I'm sure that she'll go turn in that rat tail, but the question is, what after that? The hook did put her at 10 key items, and she does have those slingshots waiting to fling Rydia and Yang into the heavens. Wouldn't surprise me to see a giant play, maybe then into lunar subterrane. I think that'd be a pretty fun play.
It would definitely be a galaxy brain play, that's for sure.
Corey, meanwhile, about to say hi to the sparkle that gave us our starting item. Not seen Wyvern yet. Are we about to be met with some Mega Nuke?
Oh, look at that. Almost the end. Like you can predict the future.
Gets a Starvel up on food. Without a cursed anchor, I'm kind of like, that's actually a little scary.
It is, but Flurry's not new to Free Enterprise, so seeing these things, I'm sure he's run into that at least once or twice before.
Oh yeah, and you see that sparkle on the map, and you get ready, you get geared up. You're like, all right, I'm ready to run buffer. I'm ready to freeze that ATB by running away and making that text box pop up, and we got it. It's a little, if you're feeling really froggy there, instead of even putting the Starvel up, you could actually just nuke it and kill it. But that's a dangerous game of chicken with the dragon.
We see another sparkle behind the throne, the true king.
This one, Plague or Ogopogo? Hey! Who wants pasta? You want some pasta, Nits guy?
I do. I love some pasta.
Let's get some spaghetti and meatballs. Hey.
Does get that big wave off, but this nuke is gonna, unless it really low rolls, it should take care of it.
Yeah, this one has decent magic defense, but not quite enough to a foo on the warpath.
Exactly. we see some rearranging here as we see Dia. Looks like Dia's gonna either A, start her grind, or B, perhaps just knock out the giant at the same time.
Oh, and I saw Flurry arranging his inventory, pulling that unicorn up. So when chat was asking about anchor plans, I'm guessing Flurry's plan for the Z fight is do just enough damage with some Zergers, throw a few nukes after popping a unicorn, yada yada yada. It's a clever strat pulled up by Penguinator that can be difficult to execute, because if you accidentally go overboard, well, you're dealing with that entire second half of the Zeromus fight.
And you don't want to do that, because that, my friends, is slow, and the goal of these races is to go fast as we are approaching the 1 hour mark here.
Yeah, and this is a seed where, you know, with all the kind of loot and gear and abilities and characters we have, you definitely know you're on a timer, especially with the sheer caliber of competition you're up against. Like, it's not just these two. We have 11 racers in this match. A lot of the greats are playing in this, and you definitely start to feel a little behind as some of these checks start to come up empty.
Like that Moonveil in the trash can?
I mean, Moonveil's a great item, but you don't want to see it after committing to these kinds of checks nearly an hour in, when you know there's a Fu, you know there is a Yang and a Rydia ripe for slingshotting, and yeah, you start to worry. You undoubtedly start to worry.
Yeah, we definitely do see Dia in grind mode, looking for that fight. This may or may not be it. I haven't been watching to see if that's correct. It looks as though it's the... Oh, thank goodness it's the water hag. I was
hoping for the gauntlet.
That's what I was hoping for too, but sadly, easy water hag. Just got to damage it 3 times, even for 1. That's enough.
And Dia does find the grind fight she was looking for. That is the Searcher with the D Machine. Again, we are getting double XP. Rydia and Yang are both getting quadruple XP. It will only take 3 of these plus life glitches to get Rydia to nuke. This will be a very fast, very potent grind.
Aaron Lauren chat asks, is Moon in play for key items? Absolutely. They're still looking for the pan because they got to hit Yang over the head with it. So far, they've come up empty. It's possible that the pan is here because, as we see, a life staff. Not exactly what Flurry was looking for. So he nopes out of that, and Flurry is running out of checks.
Yep. Dwarf Castle, I believe, is the only one left on the blue planet. Committing to this play, though, not abandoning the strategy just yet. You know, Dia is getting a little cheeky here, trying to use slower attacks like a Power Punch and an Ice 2 spell, attempting to get multiple life glitches off per dragon, which I like that in some situations, but when you're right here with a team that needs so few, I'm not giving that D Machine any extra chances to burn me down.
No, as we see there, her team could use a little more health, and every time that you use one of those life potions, it's gone. So, and she didn't pick up any extra, so I'd be concerned about that.
Oh, she did buy a second stack before coming back here. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I must have missed that.
Oh, it's all good. There's a lot to keep track of.
They did Bacon Pie. Sheila 1 was the pass. Thanks, chat, for picking me up on that. We can.
And if I've done my math correctly, this is the last D Machine Dia needs to do. Only needs 3 again. This will give Rydia the equivalent of 24 D Machines worth of XP. Just take the money and run, in my opinion.
And we see Leviathan going down quite quickly on Flurry's side.
Yeah, Leviathan was hanging out at the beach, got himself a nice bronzed color. Boom. Leviathan.
Yep.
So there you go. Rydia gains how many levels? Let's wait. That was 17 on the Palom. 41.
Just a casual 41 levels, no big deal. That puts her probably close to 50, I think.
Hey, Flurry has found our 7th character this seed. It is Rosa Bay, ditching the Cid to bring the White Mage on board. Looking like he's going to keep her down and slingshot her at least eventually. But having another White Mage, we now have 3 sources of nuke in the long run and a source of holy. That's speaking some reflected damage to me.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. And so maybe put the Unihorn away and just chill with some spells. And,
Flurry, step away from the Unihorn. Step away from the Unihorn, Flurry. You don't need that.
Oh boy. You couldn't ask for an easier boss here at the element spot. Our friends, the king and queen of Evelyn.
This fight is going to make Flurry feel real good when he gets there, since he did opt to get XP along the way. It's not really bad for Dia either. Like, you still want to do the slingshot just because Rydia's XP curve really necessitates getting that huge influx. But this is a whole bunch of gravy on those mashed potatoes right there. Another 205,000 XP going to the party right here as soon as they burn themselves out.
And 1 damage, we'll see. And that's about it. So they're supposed to talk to Edge, but Edge isn't here, so they just don't talk. And they just disappear, and you get 200k, and your Young's already got 5,000 HP. You got even Rydia. She's really close, 1,800. Hallam, 1,700.
And as if, so if you remember our fake objectives at the start, Scala had put one up that said, learn how to make a necklace with Luca. Today, our necklaces are made of pans. That is required Dwarf Castle. That is huge for Flurry. Dia has all these levels. I can't see her going back to the Earth at this point. Maybe she does. Maybe she commits to Moon. But Dwarf Castle is one of those checks that I don't know if you make as soon as you get done up here. That's definitely putting her in dangerous territory, and Flurry on the road to wrapping this seed up.
Absolutely. Also, thank you so much, Roundflyer, for gifting those 5 tier 1 subs to the community. Congratulations to Zalde, Ricky Kun82, Kida Tanaka, Pain in Dadash, and Martin Broadcloak. Did I? I'm new.
And also, yes, thank you, Asuka, for the raid. Really appreciate you bringing everyone over. Hope you had a good evening playing Free Enterprise as well. Everyone, welcome to the premiere of the Community Club Showcase once a week. We're showcasing the different clubs, racing clubs, on the Free Enterprise Discord. And tonight we have 2 amazing racers, Project Dia and Flurry, both working to finish the seed. And Flurry is on the way. Only has to clear this giant. Dia still has to decide where to go hunt that pan down. And of course the 9 other racers in the game as well, right, Nitsukai?
Yes, and I just did take a quick peek over at the channel, and nobody else has finished at this point. So Flurry, I would say at this point, is in the driver's seat, but he is going to... He's gonna dip into Cape Bahamut. Has he forgotten that?
I think he is setting up a slingshot, or maybe not. So Flurry may just be grinding here. Flurry has a siren. Flurry has hourglasses. Flurry knows life 2 on his foo. Flurry may be doing a cheeky grind here with the double gold dragon fight to possibly life 2 grind, possibly just to try to get a double life glitch off and get a whole bunch of XP. But you don't have to go down to 4-3 for that. Where are you going, Flurry? What's good?
Yeah, I just remembered now. I could have gone through and just did that. And look at that.
Oh, okay.
Edward. Isn't that exciting?
I'm assuming Flurry may not have realized that this fight's also on floor 2. He may want to peek the boss to see if it's a freebie. But yeah, there that is on the gold dragons, and let's see what he's doing next.
Absolutely. So,
And
if you're
Asuka with a gift bomb to the community. Thank you so much, Asuka. Gift subs landing on Saradin, Brash Volksdragon, Ryun, Falkith, and Haseo Rir. Really appreciate that. Thank you for supporting Free Enterprise and this great little community that we have going on.
yes, thank you very much. We greatly appreciate the support. Rivers appreciates it too. You should ask him when playable Golbez is coming along.
And this is bad news for Dia. Having cleared that giant is going down into the bottom of the lunar subterrane. Who knows when she will make that Dwarf Castle play for the pan. I believe she won the best of 7 that she and Flurry had going on. And if this is extending it to a best of 9, well, Flurry is looking to be on the comeback.
For sure. And it's really unfortunate that it's going to be that one check and she's going to go down. I assume there's got to be some sort of elaborate chain that ends up Twin Harp to Earth Crystal to who knows what.
You know, that is at least the best thing for chat. If Twin Harp is down here, well, hopefully we will get a music check in the long run. And isn't that what it's really all about? I'm just here for the Twin Harp tunes. The video game, the rest of it, that's fine and all, but I just want the Twin Harp tunes.
No, same here. So we do see Flurry going back.
Yeah, he did that gold dragon grind and got Rosa all the way up to Cure 4, lickety split. I don't think we're going to see a D-money grind here. I think he's going to go right into that elements fight and be very, very happy with who he sees there.
Absolutely. If you're Flurry now, you're probably feeling pretty good about your chances at this point. You know, an hour 10 in, and he's just about at the end of the journey here. As we do see Diaz peeking the D lunar spot where you would get your ribbons, and it's leg day.
Oh yes. Ruby's like, you can't take my ribbons. I'm tying my legs up with these ribbons. They look so cute. And Dia says, was it flame? I will nuke you now. Double nuke, triple nuke.
Triple nuke, holy moly.
Throw that you know, if you put metal in the microwave, you get you know what happens.
It is not pretty, folks. But Ruby is here, chat, so so far you get something.
Of course, doing Moon first with all this double XP, Dia will eventually be utterly destroying Zeromus, going to end up with characters probably close to level 70.
Oh boy, yeah. When your Rydia is at 2000 HP, you know you've grinded quite a bit.
And Flurry, meanwhile, about to get the beautiful, beautiful news. No need to grind here. Here, have another free 205,000 XP, because you're worth it.
You deserve it. You worked hard, and god darn it, people like you.
Of course, there is the chance that Dia doesn't pursue these chains. You can very easily end up in a situation where you see the dot done, and you think, okay, it can't be through a long chain. You metagame. And if this drives her to do single dip checks rather than chasing chains, maybe it gets her to that Dwarf Castle check.
Well, so far there's been no chain, although get your smart Dia. Seeing Golbez and saying, you know, maybe not.
Well, just wanting to get set up for it. So in Final Fantasy IV, there is a status element priority. You cannot be paralyzed by Golbez if you have any of various other statuses. If you're poisoned, if you're silenced, if you're tiny, if you're pigs, the hold gas won't work. And this is very nice because it means that you can queue up those Starvels after the Shadow Dragon is done eating, rather than being like, oh no, let me get my Starvel off.
I do see those custom mini sprites, Scala. Thank you so much for those. I just noticed. They're not your garden variety mini sprites.
Golbez is over here playing with his dolls, and the Shadow Dragon, I mean, I'm surprised it gets full so quickly. These are really just like bite-sized little appetizers. Like, this isn't a hearty meal for a growing Shadow Dragon. I think that if you are minied or toted, the Shadow Dragon should get another demolish attack.
I agree. We should. I'll think about throwing that into feedback and ideas.
And so we're going to see another relative freebie in the next spot. A little trickier when you're not getting your anchoring on, but this team's going to have no difficulty with this plague fight, I think.
No, exactly. He'll be able to take care of it. You know, we've got some beefy people.
And Dia, notably, did reset after not getting any value from that Rubicon fight, so although that was a bonus 200,000 XP, looking to only be keeping what she's killed if it is a key item, or other, noteworthy piece of gear. These levels are more than good for Zeromus. I understand not wanting to have to take the time to heal the team back up.
Fu making sure that Rydia goes down. 5,000 damage, poor girl. She's just a kid. And you see the reflect count strats, so everybody should be okay there in regards to that.
And so now there is. So we mentioned how you can reflect the D Lunar's breath. You can also reflect Plague's Doom counter. As Flurry has done here. Gonna pick Yang up. Make sure to slow Plague down. And in a few seconds, it will die an instant death. Well, a 10-second delayed instant death.
Yes. Slowing down Plague twice, just so that chat's aware. When you Silk Web, that will drop him to his lowest speed automatically, I believe. Is that right, Inven?
Well, it depends, but yeah, the slowest you can make a target happens when you double slow. Silk Web, double slows, casting slow twice, double slows. If an enemy is cast fast on itself, it takes a little bit more doing, but the gist of it is that if the plague is acting too quickly, that final tick will never go off. So if it's too speedy, you gotta slow it down, and that's why Flurry took the time to do that.
Gotcha. And we see Octo on Dia's side. We see Flurry super excited to see Edward, I'm sure.
Yeah, just take that Eddie and use that to beat the game.
Yeah.
But of course, with this, we are gonna, after a little more cutscene, Flurry is gonna have the crystal completed all 4 objectives in just over 1 hour 16 minutes. Super speedy go mode, and I think with these levels, there's no need to grind.
No.
Don't know what Flurry's gonna do about anchoring. It may be interesting to see just what he does in a minute. But Nitsky, you've been away from the scene for a while, but I think you know that there is a very important question we've got to ask in this situation.
I believe I still remember that question. Whose butt are we going to kick tonight?
And Flurry being kind of cheeky this seed. We had a source of weak. We had 2 characters who really love to be slingshotted, but didn't feel compelled to do that.
No, it's definitely a question.
Rydia is 1 level shy of Nuke. Exactly 1 level shy.
Oh, that's...
She'll help out with, Virus or something. It'll be fun.
Yeah. Definitely not worried. Pumped to see Flurry basically destroy a very cheeky seed.
Yeah, this is supposed to be hard flags, and we got all excited about having to go to the moon before going underground, and to be well on his way to coming in across the finish line with a 122, if even that.
Yeah.
Beautifully executed. And our tracker tonight, Gundam Pilot Spaz, gifting 3 subs to the community, landing on our Dan Omley, Apoc Kime, and Viola Drum. Thank you, Gundam Pilot Spaz, much appreciated. And GG's on the tracking tonight. You're not done yet, though. Dia's still finding new things for you.
Yep. Pretty much half done.
Yep. Just let's see, Luca Key, Twin Harp, and Earth Crystal left in the pool.
Yep. Oh, and the pan. She's still.
Oh yeah, well, yeah.
Well, we know where that is, but
yeah.
Just 4 buttons to click on. Well, 5.
And no one is finished yet, chat. So Flurry is looking to be in great shape to not just win on the featured restream, but also to win the entire shebang tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I've just checked. Nobody else has finished. Also, Esgrent, thank you for the resub. Oh, Zilch has finished in first place with a time of 1:18:53. Well, GG to Zilch.
Very well done. I'm excited to read the race spoilers channel later and see the differing approaches taken by all these great racers tonight. But let's see if Flurry can clinch second. And more importantly, show me that butt.
Exactly.
Not units guy.
For sure. Esgrant, thank you so much for the resub for 2 months. We appreciate the support. And it's Chaosmus. I assume this is a Final Fantasy 1 sprite from one of the remakes?
I forget exactly which one this is. This is indeed that Chaos. But this is the big beefy version that Scala will, I'm sure, tell us where she plucked it from soon.
I'm sure.
It is the Dissidia version, but it is from Final Fantasy Pictologica, the Japanese-only Picross game.
Which explains why I've never seen it. My Picross game is non-existent.
Well, it's kind of funny because a lot of the Picross games, the Pictological ones that I've seen are like really cute chibi versions of like protagonists. I've not seen like a whole bunch with again, this is the Dissidia version. Wait, no, Pictologica version of the Dissidia version. So that explains why this one's a little more swole.
Last time I checked, there were over 400 sprites. I assume there's got to be more than that now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's well over 450 at this point.
Oh,
and Dia, I apparently saw that dot done, or just finished the moon off. Oh, finished the moon off in general. Coming back to Earth to clean up everything else. And well, we know that the pan is the key, but Dwarf Castle is the key.
Yeah. So she's gonna go down a little bit more of a rabbit hole here, but hopefully she avoids the big parts. As we do see so far, Flurry not running into any major problems. Just looking at his character's HP, he was able to nerf the first Big Bang. Going to Ashura to try and heal, and does get the Cure 3.
Asura, very nice for when you're doing reflect strats because it does penetrate reflect. So even if you're doing all these reflected spells, Asura don't care. She got you covered 2/3 of the time.
Exactly.
So sad to see one level shy. Flurry, of course, did a great job not doing any grinding really throughout the seed, and left his Rydia just a teeny tiny bit shy of being able to join in a nuclear club here. But Virus, well, she'll do what she can.
Yep. She'll do her part, and hopefully she'll survive. As we do see, again, things going pretty much according to plan for Flurry here. Reflect strats discovered one day by accident many years ago in the vanilla speedrun, and that's when they learned that they could apply it to places like this fight here, where he won't refill his HP, and he only has about 65,000 roughly HP in this spot when you do use the reflect strats, because when you reflect, it doesn't count towards refilling his HP for some reason.
Yeah. It turns out that a lot of enemies have a lot of different reaction scripts, so when you either attack them or do damage to them, a whole lot of actions. But the game does not process any reaction script from reflected spells. So it's not just the Zeromus fight, but plenty other places that you can use it to great effect in the game. See if you can find them all.
Yeah. I bet you if you roll 10,000 seeds making pie, you won't find them all. I'm sure there's a percentage I can figure out what the probability is of getting them all. I feel like it's more than 10,000.
There comes the black hole. Flurry queues up a replacement Starveil to get those nukes going again. Has enough MP left on Fu for one more for now. Will this one get it, or are we going to have to see one more from Palom? We'll know very soon. As the spell animation finishes, do we have a cracked boom, or do we need more magic?
We have a crack boom in GG to Flurry, finishing in an official race spot time of 1 hour, 29 minutes, and 39 seconds, and second place. So GG to Flurry.
Yeah, very well played. We'll see if we can get Flurry in for an interview shortly. And with that, is clawing his way back to this best of 11 between him and Dia.
Yes. The series that will never end. We'll see you in round 12.
You can't be serious.
I can be serious, and don't call me Shirley. And we're going to see. I wonder if Dia has the race room up. I haven't watched a ton of her, but I don't know if she would metagame at this point. Like if she's going to go and peek Dwarf Castle at this point next, or if she's going to go somewhere else.
Well, it's kind of hard to metagame when we do have such power going on with the team at this point. Again, when your team is level 60, there's no spot that you can't clear in basically a heartbeat. So that does make it tricky. But we'll see where she flies next. Not going down to the basement altar. So I think that only leaves Dwarf Castle.
I believe so. We
oh no,
welcome again.
I think there may be. Oh, she's going back to the. Yeah, she knows that's the elements fight because she fought Ruby on the moon, so she knows this is elements. Knows that's a very doable fight early in the game with the Fu. Metagaming may be maybe biting her a little bit.
And joining us in the booth is Flurry. Congratulations on your second place finish and the winner of the Dia Flurry Super Series. Congrats.
Thanks. Nice to get a little bit of revenge on Dia. But that was a rather interesting seed. That was a very good one to have, I think, restreamed. Couple of routing mistakes, but otherwise, I'm pretty happy with how that went.
Yeah, did you expect a sub 90 minute when you realized you had to go moon to get underground?
No. When I got the darkness crystal, I was like, don't do this to me. We haven't had one of these in a long time for the we've known K unsafe that can happen, but it hasn't actually happened in a while. And I'm like, I'm being restreamed, so this is gonna be like a required moon fight into hook and it got the darkness crystal. I was like, oh no, and then it all went good from there. But that particular scenario I thought was going to cost me when I saw who was in the giant.
Oh yeah, when you saw both the free bosses. You see, I figure you would actually be more excited about that because of the fact that you did not hang on to a slingshot setup. I actually assumed you would find that a sigh of relief, because if everyone else is slingshotting and you run into 2 free bosses, I thought that would be a good thing for you. So that actually left you worried?
I was a little concerned. At first, I was a little concerned because I thought it's an easy way to get over the hump, right? You don't have access to weak yet. You know, if somebody decides to say, let's see who the bosses are, and if it's not there, you know, maybe we can work out a Mac Giant grind. It would be slow, but it wouldn't be too bad. And then you see, oh, free bosses, fine. Oh, free bosses is really fine. Now I'm going super fast for the rest of the seed. But the counter to that, as I started going to the Z fight, I was thinking, well, if somebody does that, they're probably likely to finish out the moon at that rate. Because with that experience boost and a foo, your party's probably looking at like upper 30s or so, and you could handle the fights that were there. We seemed like we got most of the nasty bosses were all hanging out in Dwarf Castle or Baron Castle, so I wouldn't be surprised if somebody like had dove that, decided to go to the moon or immediately after that, and the moon was completely haunted, other than the underground access and the required objective. But other than that, it wasn't really that big a deal. I guess it was more along the lines of I was worried that I did the last thing on Earth, which happened to have the pan, and
That's
not
true.
getting nice too. That was the other bummer.
That is like kind of what tripped Dia up. As soon as she hit a 10th key item, she moved on to the giant, did that grind, and then went to the moon from there. So that kind of gave you the big edge here, wanting to full clear Earth. But we have a new mission for you, if you choose to accept it.
Oh, I think this might be musically inclined.
Yeah, Sheila 2 has your twin harp. If you want to go turn that pan in and fly back to Cave Magnus, you will be the hero that chat needs and wants, and we will all applaud you so much.
So I guess the other interesting thing about this seed, other than like not having cursed ring, like I really wanted to get nuke on all the casters, but
Already one level short.
Yeah, I saw when I saw the experience total at like 680,000 going into the plague fight, and I'm like, no. Missing the one nice 2 strat is what ended up costing me nuke, and probably cost me about 1 big bang cycle, which, oh wait, I already did the hitting him with the pan, didn't I? 'Cause that was an objective. So yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting, is, here's all these mages, are you going to take the time to even cash out that one siren? Probably wasn't entirely necessary if you really wanted to just do it with foo. But I think at the end it ended up saving time. Did we ever see who character
Who character what? I'm sorry, you cut out there on the mic.
the 7th character?
Yeah, you saw all 7. Edward and Rosa.
Oh, Edward and okay, yeah, that's right. I tried to forget about Edward.
Hey, some seeds you want them Underground Racing Club flags. You can kind of take them or leave them. Although, admittedly, the bosses on the giant didn't really require powerhouse characters to
No, they didn't. And I do think it's one of those things where, deciding what to leave on Earth and whatnot, having 10 key items and getting that giant is super tempting. But I feel like when you have Fae March bosses that are doable, at that point, that's usually kind of the thing that you want to put off, so you might as well finish it off, I guess. That's always the hardest thing to figure out, right? When to leave for the moon, if at all.
Well, you executed brilliantly tonight. Any final thoughts before we let you go be our DJ for the evening?
No, I appreciate you guys taking the time to do a commentary, restreaming, and the showcase for this particular club. Looking forward to watch Annadale win the jumping club next week, if that's the one it is. If it's the Lunar Racing Club, then that'd be great too. And appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
Hey, GG's again. Very well played, and thank you for taking the bonus mission. We all appreciate it. Have a good night, Flurry.
All right, you too, man.
That was Flurry, our 2nd place finisher. Just to kind of go back and clean up what's going on here. We had PK4787 finish in 3rd, the time of 1:25:53. Gambit finished in 4th with the time of 1:27:32. Looks as though Commander Leonhardt sniped Antidale. Leonhardt finishes in 5th with 1:29:13, and Antidale finishing in 6th with 1:29:33. So GG to all of those runners. And as we were talking with Flurry there, looks as though Dia picked up the pan and is going to go to the Z fight. And I will just be silent now, as music will be forthcoming very shortly.
Absolutely. Enjoy the tunes. Enjoy Dia's Zeromus fight. Let's see if she gets cheeky with this Edward. And we'll be back with you soon, chat. Wait, there are songs in Final Fantasy VIII other than Man with a Machine Gun?
A pit.
I don't believe it.
I should put that into feedback and ideas. Get that song taken out.
My oath is to get rid of the oath. Neon with a good point in chat. Liberi Fatali. Okay, Neon. You have a good point, as you regularly do. Oh, and Dia did pick up Best Boy Eddie, but not for the sake of utilizing his strats. Eddie is there to handle that anchoring issue that Flurry mentioned, since no cursed rings were found. And yeah, not the contribution that I'm sure so many folks were hoping for tonight.
It's a little sad.
Yeah. Eric the Orange asking in chat, what's that sprite from? That is Final Fantasy I Chaos's Dissidia form from Pictologica Final Fantasy.
Hopefully you were
it's
paying
3 layers
attention
deep.
to that. Yeah. That's okay. We love them all. Yeah. Oh, Eddie and Rydia will be taking a nap, it appears. A little bit of a
Yeah,
high
if you
note
get the
there.
nuke, even with a nerfed Big Bang to follow, it can be hard to keep her standing.
Well, that's okay. That's, Yang's only got 5,900 HP, so...
I hope that's enough.
He could probably survive easily 2, maybe to 3 more Big Bangs at this point.
Oh, that's a little tricksy, though. Dia throwing the crystal, attempting to nerf the Big Bang at the last minute. But, well, if it's already come out, you're just getting yourself another nuke counter, which Yang can handle. Oh, maybe this is reflecting for the kill? That would be amazing. I would be down with that. Has she counted it to make this magic happen?
Swag?
Oh, not quite that swag.
Almost.
Not so swag. But hey, Dia can definitely recover this. Just pick the team up, keep on trucking, keep those reflects coming. Got 6 Star Vels. Have a ton of HP on that Yang.
That's why you level him up to level 60.
I am looking at this at the speed with which these turns are coming. I'm wondering if Dia is doing this at battle speed 1, which, yeah, even if you're level 60, you don't want Zeromus taking too many turns.
No, exactly. Oof, and that was a little spicy there by Chaos Miss there.
Luckily, not enough damage on that one to take down Fu.
On phase 1 with the virus, let's pick Fu up from off the ground again.
Well, Penguinator, at this point, looks like Chaos is having a minor riot. And this guy, apparently, you have become super quiet for everyone. I don't know if that's on our restreamer side or on your side, but
maybe. How's it's on my side?
Hey there. That's much better. Glad to have you back here.
Yeah. I think while the interview was going on, I think I bumped my mic. There we go. Should be better now.
Ooh,
Definitely
rough.
not into now.
Chaos not playing kind right here.
No. Nuke into Big Bang, always. You hate to see that.
Yeah, but I'm sure that as long as Dia doesn't run out of Starvels, this will be fine. We'll eventually get Palom to stay standing at the right time to throw a final nuke. Looks to be waiting for... Oh, wait for it. Oh, opting to try to just do counter nukes to finish the fight while nerfing the Big Bang. I was not counting damage at the start here, so...
I wasn't either, so I don't know if that's enough. Looks as though maybe not.
D opting to continue throwing the crystal for now. It won't activate that HP refill because it doesn't do damage, but it will draw a nuke counter, which being reflected will not progress the script or activate those reaction scripts. It already is a reaction script. Just have to do this roughly 2,000 at a time and hopefully make it the rest of the way there.
Definitely. While we wait for that, it looks as though Penguinator finishing in 7th place with a time of 1:35.27. So GG to Penguinator.
Newt.
Newt.
There we go. We actually got a nuke off from Palom. None of these little 1900 dealies. What does this do? That's a quad 9. That's a crack boom flash. Dia has finished in 8th place with a 139.35. Really great time considering the sheer amount of the seed that she cleared. Just when Moon is haunted, you better call a Ghostbuster. We'll see if Dia wants to come in for an interview as well, if you hang on with us for just a moment longer, chat.
Definitely well played. Great on her. If I was in this race, I'd probably still be running.
And we are joined by Dia. GG's. Moon's haunted.
Moon's haunted.
Moon's haunted. Other than that, one of the first questions we asked Flurry was when you
We were joined by
saw
Dia. GG's.
that you had to go to the moon to get it underground. What was your thoughts? How did you think the seed would be playing out from there? And were you surprised, shocked one way or the other?
Well, by the time I figured that out, I already had Foo. So, my plan was just kind of kill as many bosses on the world as I could, see if I get weak. If I don't, go top down, and just try to take out the single bosses, see if any of those get me weak before committing to the higher density at the bottom. Because once you're down there, you don't want to leave. So my plan was to get nuke there, but I got the Magma Key, which led to me going for 10 key items after that, before I ever did my grind.
Gotcha. And that seemed to also actually, like, it was a nasty little, like, trap that the seed set for you, it looked like, because as soon as you got that 10th key item, you went right and did your grind. I would have done the same thing. I would give me all the levels, let me clear everything, but that also put the moon on the table so easily for you that it, just, the coin flip, it gotcha. What can you do, right?
Yeah, and Dwarf Castle would be my last check there in most situations anyways, so... like, not much you can do about that. Dwarf Castle's just cutscenes, 2 bosses, just not fun to sit through, so I wasn't planning on sitting through that unless I had to, and I did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you cleared out so much of that seed so quickly. Running, like, you can't handle where rando gonna rando, but you can handle how you kick everything's teeth in that's in your way, and you did just that. Very well done. Nitsky, do you have any other questions tonight?
No, other than Dia, congratulations. If it was myself, I'd still be running in this race. You really showed off a lot of swag, a lot of awesome strats to our people here with the first community club showcase of the Underground Racing Club. And I just wanted to say on behalf of chat and the community, thanks for being a part of it.
Thank you.
Dia, any final thoughts before we find ourselves a raid target?
So you're also supposed to be implementing no foo soon, right? Where can we
Hey,
be on that?
talk to Penguinator about that. This is his kick.
Alright. Thanks for the restream. Thanks for commentary and tracking. And yeah, just thanks for everything, guys.
Hey, thank you for being one of our volunteers. It was a great race. All right, y'all. We are going to raid Bursic Badger, who is practicing for the Fastest Furs Summer Showcase Marathon this weekend. So get your free enterprise hospitality out for Bursic Badger. Let's give some support to someone who is using this fantastic game for the sake of raising money for a good cause. And Nitsky, you get the last word tonight, my friend. Welcome back.
Thank you. It's great to be back. Thanks. Shout out to our restreamer, Scala Kitty, doing a great job there behind the scenes, providing all the amazing graphics and everything else. Also, a shout out to my co-commentator, Invenerable. Definitely great working with you again, and it's good to be back. And definitely, last but not least, Gundam Pilot Spaz, clicking the buttons, doing an amazing job there. And just make sure you follow all these great people. Make sure you follow Project Dia and follow Flurry at LQ Flurry 14. And thanks all, and have a wonderful night.